Well, good afternoon, gentlemen. We're here this afternoon to lay a tribute here to Colonel Johnson of the 116th General Hospital of the United States Army. And I had the privilege in June of 2017 to be contacted by his son, Mac Johnson, who was on a coach tour in England at the time. And he said to me he'd like to come to Harrogate the following morning, and he had discovered that his late father had commissioned a plaque in Harrogate, which you see before you, when his father was a surgeon in charge of the General Hospital here from the United States Army. So I met him off the train. And I've lived in Harrogate all my life. I happen to be a tour guide, blue badge tour guide for Yorkshire. And he said, there's a plaque just inside the Valley Gardens. To which I said, well, I've lived here all my life. I haven't got a clue where it is. We walked around this corner and he said, it's in front of you here. So slight embarrassment on my part, bit of a schoolboy error. Anyway, he then came to this plaque and he put his hand over the plaque just here, and he said, you notice the date, July the 28th, 1944. He said, my dad was in charge of the field hospital as a surgeon. He operated on a number of the airmen who many sadly didn't survive and are in the Commonwealth war graves at Stonefall. He said, but Dad ran a field hospital in Harrogate. Can we find it? We later did. And then he read this plaque out, and he said, this tablet was erected by the officers and nurses of the 116th General Hospital of the United States Army, who, serving their country during World War II, spent happy days in Harrogate and enjoyed the hospitality of all of Yorkshire. Nick, I'll tell you where my dad enjoyed all the hospitality. It was behind these rhododendron bushes just here. He said he was a bit of a ladies' man, I later found out. Thought that was a nice little story. So anyway, let me just read you the sad story. My father, Colonel Johnson, was in charge of the 116th US Field Hospital, a surgeon based in Harrogate. In 1945, he was redeployed to Germany before the end of the war. He and his driver got a call to rescue a German farmer who was trapped in his own farm machinery. They went off, my father and his driver. Shortly after, they hit a German landmine and both were severely injured. I was later told that my father was in severe pain, and as a surgeon knew that no surgery could repair his back injuries, which were too severe. A couple of years later, he took his own life. I have wanted to find this plaque for all of my adult life. Nick of Your Tours Harrogate met me off the train with a big smile on his face. We located the plaque and Nick took me a photo of me touching my father's plaque. We also found the remnants of the field hospital opposite what is now the Army Apprentice College. And I walked on the foundation of his temporary hospital. We also went to the World War II cemetery and all the airmen's graves from the time period my father performed numerous surgeries every day. I knew while he saved many airmen's lives, some of the graves were of those he probably touched and tried to save. It's hard to describe the feelings I had when I first touched this plaque. I felt a stronger connection to him than ever before. Although I spent less than 3 hours with Nick, but knew that I would never have been so much closer to my father's past without his assistance. Nick also showed me Hales Bar. He told me he was sure my father frequented it. Sitting in the pub, having a pint, after I'd left Nick, I knew he was right. Nick, you have made my dream come true. Sincerely, Mac Johnson, USA. My father is buried in the cemetery in Paris, in Texas. So without further ado, gentlemen, I will lay this underneath his father's plaque, and it will be here till next year when I renew it again. And it's been a great privilege to find more about the field hospital, about Colonel Johnson, and obviously of his son.
I didn't know.
I know the hill they got, I don't think so long to get